Today we're gonna explain you the basics of color theory and show you 5 things you need to know about color to improve your work.
Hey there, landscapers! It's Sonia and Gasper again.
Hi!
We're two landscape architects, and our mission is to teach you about drawing in a simple, understandable way.
And today we're going to look at color.
Knowing the basics of color and how to use it is important to anyone who is creating visual work, be it painters, illustrators, photographers, graphic designers, or architects, or anyone similar.
Okay, we're gonna break this topic down in 5 things you need to know about color. First, what is color? Second, hue, saturation, and lightness. Third, mixing colors and color wheel. Fourth, psychological effect of colors. And number 5, color schemes and color harmonies you need to follow to create more visually pleasing work.
The first 3 points are about understanding color, and the last 2 are about using color in your work. So stick with us.
By the way, if you're here for the first time, you can also check our other basics of drawing videos. We created a whole playlist of them, and you can find links in the description below.
And of course, subscribe for future ones. Now let's dive right in. Number 1 thing you need to understand is, what is color? We'll keep it simple. White light is composed of all different colors of the color spectrum, from red to violet. Now, color is a property of a surface that reflects light of different wavelengths. If a surface is blue, for example, it means that it reflects blue part of the light, which we then see and absorbs the rest.
Fun fact, some people see more colors than others.
There is a certain genetic mutation that enables a certain percentage of people to see thousands of more color tones than others. Crazy colorful, right?
The second thing you need to know about colors are those 3 terms: hue, saturation, and lightness, or HSL. Hue basically means the same as color, such as green, orange, or violet.
The second term you need to understand is saturation. Saturation is intensity of a color or a hue. The more saturated the color is, the purer it is. We can desaturate a color by adding different amounts of gray to it.
If saturation is adding gray to the basic color, then lightness, the third term, tells us how much white or black is added to the original hue. Adding white is called tint, adding black is called shade. By adding black, white, and gray to it, we can create a whole series of tones for one single hue or color.
One interesting fact: more saturated colors draw the eye to them and appear closer, while less saturated colors appear more distant. Keep that in mind when you're creating your work. On the other hand, if you want to create more realistic looking natural images, you should go for desaturated colors, because saturated colors in nature are very rare.
Let's look at number 3 on our list, mixing colors and the color wheel. The color wheel is a certain arrangement of color along a circle that is extremely useful and will help you understand the mixing of colors and the use of compelling color combinations later on.
Let's start with the 3 so-called basic colors on the color wheel. They are yellow, red, and blue. These are the so-called primary colors. If we would mix all 3 together, we would get a brown color. If we mix them 2 at a time, however, we get the secondary colors. Blue and yellow produce green, yellow and red produce orange, and red and blue produce purple.
If we mix the neighboring colors once again, we get so-called tertiary colors. These are red-orange, red-purple, blue-purple, blue-green, yellow-green, and yellow-orange.
So this is the color wheel. You might also know it in this form, and if you want to know how to use one, we made an extra video about it and we'll put the link into the description below. But let's continue with our list.
In the last 2 points on our list, we're gonna tell you how to use this information we just learned.
Number 4 is color psychology. Colors have a certain subjective effect on us because we're used to associating them with the phenomena in nature. For example, we usually perceive red as warm or even dangerous because we're used to associating red with fire.
As if they had physical properties such as temperature, size, and weight.
First, let's look at what color temperature means. We can divide the color wheel between warm colors and cool colors. Warm colors are the reds, yellows and oranges, while cool colors are the blues, violets and greens. We perceive warm colors as more lively, also bigger and closer to us, while cool colors look more calming, distant and, well, cold.
Second is the color size. We can divide the color wheel between smaller looking colors and bigger looking colors. Objects of the same size in yellow, red and orange appear larger than the objects in green, blue and violet. If you want to balance out two of such colors, like yellow and violet for example, you should use a lot of violet and just a small bit of yellow.
The third perceived color quality is color weight. Notice how objects of same size in violet, blue or red appear heavier than objects in yellow and green. This is useful to know when stacking colors above each other. If you put the heavier colors on the bottom and the lighter colors on top, the composition will look more stable.
And we've reached the final point on our list, the color schemes and color harmonies. These are special groups of colors that look well together and are pleasing to our eyes. Let's check out 5 basic ones that you can use in your paintings, drawings, photography and graphics.
The first color scheme is the monochromatic color harmony. It basically means you're using just one color, but you can add different tones and saturations by adding black, gray and white to it. A monochromatic image is calm and good for abstraction. It allows the eye to explore the structure of the image and its details rather than being distracted by other colors. We use it a lot ourselves in our sketches because we're focusing more on the structure and texture of the sketches instead of the colors.
The second color scheme is the analogous color scheme. In this one, you can only use 3 colors that lie next to each other on the color wheel. Like for example yellow, yellow-green and green, or blue-violet, violet and red-violet. This color scheme looks very natural and calming. It's great if you want to depict a natural looking scene like a landscape. Similar to the monochromatic scheme, the eye can focus on the detail and the element of the image.
The third color scheme we want to show you is the complementary color scheme. It means using 2 colors that lie opposed to each other on the color wheel, like blue and orange or violet and yellow. You can pick any of these combinations. When applying these colors to your image, never do it one-to-one. Remember the color size we talked about before? Use a lot of one color and the second one just selectively to draw the eye to it. That's why this color scheme is great for focusing on one element. Also, when you place 2 complementary colors next to each other, they tend to intensify each other and we perceive them as more radiant.
The next color scheme is a triad. It's a beautiful one because it looks kind of surreal. It's for example orange, green and violet, or any other 3 colors on the color wheel that are equally distant from each other. When using it, also remember, never use the 3 colors in equal amounts because it will look a visual mess. Always use one color as a predominant color and the other 2 just selectively.
The final color scheme we want to show you is the so-called split complementary scheme. It's also composed of 3 colors, 1 main color and the 2 adjacent colors to its complementary color. For example, yellow-green, violet and red, or blue, yellow-orange and red-orange. This kind of combination looks lively and joyous. And when using this one, remember, as always, do not use the 3 colors in equal proportions.
Alright, let's repeat what we just covered so you remember it better. Number 1. Color is the property of surfaces that reflect light in a certain way. Number 2. Each color or hue can be mixed by adding variety of tones, by adding gray, influencing saturation, or adding black and white to it, influencing lightness.
Number 3. Colors can be arranged along the color wheel with primary, secondary and tertiary colors. Number 4. Colors have a certain subjective effect on us. We perceive them as having a certain temperature, certain size or even weight. Consider this when creating your images. And the last one, use one of the following 5 schemes to improve the visual quality of your work. Monochromatic color scheme, the supplementary color scheme, the complementary color scheme, the triads, or the split complementary scheme.
We're curious which color scheme you can't wait to try out. My favorite is the split complementary one but tell us yours in the comments. We'd like to know.
And if you want to keep improving and not miss any of the future videos, be sure to subscribe. Just click on the subscribe button and the bell next to it.
At this point, you know what to do. Keep on drawing and see you next time.
Ciao!
Of color stones more than others. There is a genetic mutation that allows certain percentage of people to see more color stones than others.